Hello and welcome to Valley Viewpoint. We are traveling today, traveling to a little known part of the world, one of the poorest places on the face of planet Earth, with my guest. So welcome and thank you for coming to tell us more about Haiti.
Thank you, Dan.
Now I understand that you've all had some experience with Haiti. Sherry, let me start with you. I understand that you've been there how many times?
5 times now.
5 times?
Yes.
What brought you to Haiti?
The earthquake took me to Haiti the first time.
Okay, which one?
January 10, I think, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have too many earthquakes there, but they told me that they hadn't had an earthquake in Haiti for around 200 years till that one. So there may have been more since then, but it was quite a dramatic, terrible event. We all know. The world knows that.
Now, Haiti is not a particularly rich country to start with.
No.
And then you compound a desperate situation with a tragedy.
Yes, very desperate.
So what were the living conditions like during the earthquake, or following the earthquake?
Following the earthquake, well, the world was sending things to them to help feed, but there was a lot of styrofoam. A small island nation like Haiti does not know what to do with styrofoam other than to burn it, which pollutes the air. They have no place. At the time there was no garbage disposal system. And there
in the country?
No, and I don't think there is now. There may be in the city of Port-au-Prince now, and there may have been before, but when the tragedy hit, there was no garbage disposal. So can you imagine no place to put the garbage. I saw people drink water, plastic water thing, and looked around, where do I put this? And everything around them was on the ground. And I saw this one girl just hopelessly, she just dropped it to add to the garbage, not wanting to. You can see that she didn't want to, but knew not where to put it. And 90%, they say, of the Haitians do not have a daily job. Many of them are eking out a living trying to grow a few fruits and vegetables on their property. There are translators that try to get jobs translating. That is very sparse. And I know the shoeshine boys, when we walked the streets, they came wanting to shoeshine. We'll do it for free, we'll do it for free, hoping to get some little tip. And they washed my tennis shoes that were but they didn't say, oh, we'll do it for free, we'll do it for free. And so I walked around with wet tennis shoes because they were not leather. But they try to wash the windows for people as they're going through while they're stopped in a traffic. And they just get a few cents.
Their car windows?
The car windows. The people are ready with buckets and sponges, and they do it whether you want them to, and not hoping that you will give them a tip. And it's pretty desperate.
Now, it's been 9 years since the earthquake that you mentioned.
Yes.
Things are all wonderful now, aren't they?
No, they're not very much improved. A lot of the tent housing is gone, but there are still tent cities with tarps over them or UNICEF tents that people live in, and they have no place to go other. They are refugees in their own country in these tent cities, and the tent cities, I hear, are very dangerous, and there's a whole lot of bad things that go on in there. So when we went there were little tents, tarp tents, all the way down the middle of the street. Any place that had any dirt at all, and you would see a little tent house. And sometimes they were part cardboard, sometimes they were part tin, and the other part a tarp. Anything that they could do because it would rain in the evenings sometimes, and they needed some place to stay dry. And then there were many people that didn't have a tent or a tarp, and they slept on the rock parking lot of this hotel. We went there to the hotel to get a dinner one time, and hundreds of people were bedding down on the hotel parking lot, and they were not smooth rock. They were rock pieces that were cemented in, and I thought, and they would bring a a piece of cardboard, or they bring a sheet to sleep on. But they had permission to come.
Now you have some friends with you
Yes.
who have been to Haiti and who are returning to Haiti shortly.
Yes.
So why don't you introduce them?
This is Joe and Lisa Shewchuk, and I was so thrilled that they joined me on my last mission trip in March. And since then, they have told me that they're going to spend at least a year in Haiti, and who knows where God will take them then.
Now, Joe, I know that a lot of our viewers don't have the foggiest idea where Haiti is, nor what the population is like there, or how large the population is. Give us a little background about how we could find Haiti and what it's like there.
Well, it's located east of Cuba. I think everybody knows where Cuba is, so it's kind of east. And it's quite a large island. It's shared with Dominican Republic, and there's about 10 million people that live on that small area, so it's not real big.
How much do the people earn there? What is the median income? How do the people live? How do they make their money?
Whatever way they can find, basically. But most of the people I notice, they find things to sell, whether it's fruit or whether it's just whatever they can find to sell, basically. They're all out there in the streets peddling the things that they can peddle.
Now here in the United States, we have people that make their living farming. We have people that make their living in industry with factories. We're a lot of high tech. We have a lot of different industries going on. What are the main industries in Haiti?
Well, there's industries there, but it's more of foreign industries that are there to use the labor that there is there. That's cheap labor. But for the country itself, there's not a whole lot for their own people. And this is kind of one of the reasons we're going there, is to help out with teaching the people how to be industrious in areas such as woodwork or gardening, or well, there's a number of things that are the people that I'll be working with are doing. So we want to train people who are adults how to work, like welding, working with metal, working with wood. And I tell you, they are so good. Once they get into it, their craftsmanship is awesome. Now, they have used, would you believe, pallet wood to make furniture. Amazing stuff comes out of that. And you think, what, a pallet? Yeah, they take pallets and they take them apart and they use the wood to build furniture. And it's beautiful stuff that they're making.
I should have brought a sample.
Yeah. So it to me, when you can use what they have and have the people work in this industry that we've started there, we have 30 people, isn't it? 30 people that work
Yes,
for them.
there's 30 young people.
Which help about 200 and some families. So it really goes out and helps the people. And we want to do more of that.
Now you and Lisa have been to Haiti before. Tell us a little bit about your prior experience in the country.
Well, I personally went there first with
Quiet Hour.
Quiet Hour about 3 years ago. And
Now for our viewers who don't know, the Quiet Hour is a television ministry that
does evangelism.
Right.
And also building and different things. Well, I don't want to go into it too deep on that, but on my way back, my flight was at a certain time, and I missed my flight. And it was God's providence that I missed the flight, because who's standing beside me when I was at the desk, was another gentleman who missed his flight. And who that was the guy who's running the Beehive that I'll be working for. He also missed his flight, and so we said, hey, well, let's get together, and we went and ate together, and we waited for our planes. Well, I didn't know that he was a Seventh-day Adventist as I am, and so we, wow, God brought us together, and then we got on the same plane together, and then we sat together in the plane. God arranged the whole thing for us to meet, and now we will be working together.
Amen.
And you said the Beehive. I'm sure that is a term that our audience is curious about. What are we talking about?
The Beehive is an organization that was started in the U.S. and they use that term because Ellen G. White had used that in how active the work for the Lord is, like the Beehive, okay? And so they used that term to use in their what would you say?
They use the term Beehive because the bees, you know, there's drones and there's the queen and there's other worker bees. And we are all supposed to be kind of like that, doing our own jobs. They all bring a job back to, you know, the hive. And so the Beehive Haiti is part of that original organization.
Yeah.
But the Beehive Haiti now has a farm over there in Bohawk, and that is our beehive. The Beehive Haiti is the farm because, like Joe said, it's going to teach gardening, orchard, welding, and animal husbandry. They're trying to teach the children that are coming there to be kind to animals, that those animals can be a friend to them. These kids haven't had pets, not too many, and they don't always know how to treat animals nicely. So when they come and they see us treating the animals with love and care, that really helps. But besides that, there's going to be a school of carpentry. They're building a grade school. It goes up to what grade?
It looked like grade 8, because there's 8 rooms that I noticed.
So essentially the equivalent of the elementary and middle school grades in the United States?
Yeah.
Yes. And then what's happening, they've got the woodworking section. They want to, you know, it's a plan for eventual years and years. 4 years ago, there wasn't anything there. And
well,
now,
we're going to find out more about the school after we come back from our break. Don't go away. We will be right back to find more out about the Beehive, and be watching for some information about this project on your screen if you'd like to write that down while we're on our break. So we'll be right back. Don't go away. Hello and welcome back to Valley Viewpoint. If you're just joining us, my guests are talking about the nation of Haiti and some things that are going on there that are very exciting. So Sherry, when we went to break, we were talking about a school being established. Tell us more about that.
well, right now they have a little school. It's the very first building ever put on Haiti, made out of pallets. And Jonathan has anywhere from 16 to 20 young people who are too poor to be able to go to the government schools because they don't even have the money for uniforms. So he's opened up that as a schoolhouse, and they have a teacher now teaching them until the school that they're building for young people, the elementary school, can be finished.
So here in this country, every child has an opportunity to go to school. If you don't have enough money for anything, it's going to be provided. Not so there.
Not so there. No, you have to either buy your education. If you do go to a government school, you have to have the proper clothing, and I do think that there is a fee involved.
Now tell us more about what is being provided for children in the country.
Not a whole lot. Most of the children are roaming free on the streets, bored to death and in jeopardy, because the children, there's a lot of abuse that goes on with children on the streets. And I have a friend who has a children's program to help them learn about Jesus, to get them off the streets.
Tell us about it.
Well,
is this like a vacation Bible school
like
in
a
the United
vacation
States?
Bible school, but yes, he does it every week. Whereas at Bohawk, we have a vacation Bible school, pardon me, just about every time missionaries come in. And so this last vacation Bible school we had, and Lisa was involved with that, but we started out, there were 152 kids the first night, over 200 the second night, over 250 the third night, and the fourth night was 331.
Lisa, tell us about that experience.
Okay. Well, we met in a place where the men usually do the work, getting ready for their work that they have to do.
Mm-hmm.
What do you call that room? What was it called?
The depot.
The depot. Okay. Anyway, the children met there on little benches, and we had some young men come, and they were our interpreters, and they also ran the program. There was singing and a lot of stories, Bible stories.
So how did it grow? It sounds like it grew exponentially.
Yeah.
You have a lot of advertising? Or
No, there was no advertising. Well, some of those young men just went out in the truck and went around and invited children, and they would invite their friends. They also gave out clothes and some, I guess they gave some...
Well, we gave T-shirts and socks and toothbrushes to all the kids. So you can imagine when they went back to their homes, they were excited and they invited their friends.
And there were some parents that came to your classes that you had there, Sherry. There was, you had a class on massage and
health, yes.
Yes, and health talks.
Hydrotherapy.
And charcoal and poultices. And the parents and other people were really interested in that also.
Now, Lisa, what ages were these kids?
The little children?
Uh-huh.
Oh, maybe 3 to 12, 16.
We even had babes in arms. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you doubled, more than doubled the attendance
Yes.
in this time. Now, Joe, going back to the upcoming trip, what is your new role going to be?
Like a maintenance man for the Pearl, taking care of the...
Okay, now we've just introduced a new term to our audience, the Pearl. What is the Pearl?
That is the 50 acres that has been bought, and where all this where we'll be staying. They have built a guest house that will provide for all the people that come as missionary
teams.
But it's the basic farm.
Yeah.
The Pearl is the basic farm, but the guest house is there.
Yeah.
And
we're building a school there. It's half built, not even half built, and they ran out of funds, so it's sitting right now. We started to build a building for trade for the adult, like carpentry and all that, and so we're working on that. And I'll be doing some electrical work there. They desperately need, because we are off grid. We have to use the solar panels in order to give us the power we need there. So since I've lived off the grid now, I have some understanding of how to work with the solar energy. But besides that, we will be doing evangelism in the area, which is badly needed for that area, and not only in that area, but also in Port-au-Prince. And going along with that, of course, Lisa will be doing VBS to go together,
right.
kind of. So.
And she'll have to do some cooking, lots of cooking, because there's lots of people there.
Now, if one of our viewers is interested in investing in this project, how could they do so? You said that the project got this far, and then there was a lack of funding, that has paused it. So if someone wants to support that, what do they do?
The Beehive is a nonprofit organization, so they can donate, and you can do that online through the website. And we'll leave the website with on the television,
yes,
so they can see it, and they can go to that, and they can actually get more information on the Beehive and what we're doing over there. And I encourage the people to look into it and see what we're doing, because it is awesome. And as they see it, they'll see the need that we have.
Yes.
And there is a place where you can donate.
How many children will the school service?
The new one?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I would say approximately
250 to 300.
400 for now, maybe 500.
Now, is this a boarding school? Will they be living there, or they just come in from the surrounding community?
Just the surrounding areas. And what's amazing is that you look around, you don't see buildings. It looks like it's all out in the wilderness. But, so like we mentioned, at the end of the VBS, there was 331 children that came. Where did they come from? They're out there. And so we will have that school full.
Yes.
And we want to have it based on Christian principles.
Yes.
And that's what's going to be sweet about this.
You say this is going to be based on Christian principles. What is the religious culture of the country now?
It's Christian.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically Christian. There's other denominations, but you also have other groups in there that there's a lot of voodoo there, and so you
explain voodoo to our audience.
Well, I
If
wish
we
I
can.
could.
Voodoo is, we know, very spiritualistic, and
So this is spiritualism.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you can tell that that Haiti is overrun with that, because the first time we walked in, not necessarily here, but when I first went there, the first time we walked in to give our health talks, the generator went out. We were in total darkness. We used flashlights, we kept going, but 3 generators blew up before finally we got one that would stay working. But you know that's the evil that's trying, and every single time we try to do something, there's something trying to block us. And that's happened in more than just Haiti. But and so you know that we're fighting a real battle. But God is good, and
I'll tell you a story. We were up on a mountain, and we were just spending some time up. And as we were coming down, I had a meeting that night at I think it was 7 o'clock, and as we were coming down into Port-au-Prince, the roads all were blocked with traffic. There was such a traffic jam there that it took over 6 hours to disperse. 6 hours, and we started at 3 o'clock to come down that mountain. So I had to get on a motorcycle taxi with my interpreter and go through this web of vehicles to get me to where I'm supposed to get. But it took my wife, and where she was in the vehicle, until almost 9 o'clock to get out of that.
Oh,
and so, you see, that's kind of what you have to be working around and with. You never know what is around and what's going to happen. And so you have to pray a lot.
amen.
Now, Sherry, you brought some things here on our set, and our time is running out quickly. Why don't you say a word about the things that you added here?
Well, these, you can tell they were made out of old pallets that had been reconditioned, reused. And this is one of the things that they make in their little woodworking craft place. But the person who draws all of these things, and there's one with a rooster on it somewhere, right there, he is a Haitian artist. And Jonathan says he can take anything that he sees and put it into a picture. And so I brought these back from Haiti for hopefully to get donations for the Beehive. And these are just a sample. I brought things with words on them because a lot of times these can actually be made into flower containers.
Now these are Bible verses, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
We love because he first loved us. Love each other as I have loved you.
Anyway, this is one of the things that they do. They just make these things and the artist comes along and he
Here's another one. Love
makes
hopes
them
all things.
very interesting and something that, you know, you might, well, anybody can farm fresh eggs. Anyway, I brought some of these back to sell to try to help Beehive to get some things. But the talent of the people and the love you find in the people, you know, they just want somebody to care. And the children will just hang on to you wanting somebody to love them. And, you know, when I went there, all these children, we went to orphanages, and they just cling to you. And they make you feel important.
Well, thank you so much, all three of you, for coming and giving us a view of what the work in Haiti is doing. And I appreciate the commitment that you've made to go down there and make a difference in one of the poorest countries of the world.
Thanks for having us.
Well, thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us as well. If you would like to have your ideas or your friends on Viewpoint, why not contact us? You can write to me at Valley Viewpoint at bmt.tv, or you can call the station at 509-529-9149. Thank you for joining us. For Viewpoint, I'm Dan Solis.